Hello, my 102 friends. We have a lot to review this week with an important organizer to do. So don't fall for the, oh, this looks easy perspective, because it's not. Honestly, if you fall for the trick that this seems like only a simple organizer, then you're making a lot of work for yourself later. Trust me. The more work you put into this week, the less you'll stress out in a few weeks. Just stay on target. As always, let's start with our announcement. Not very much up here. Then we have our video. We're going to have the video chapter listing down here. And then to see what's coming up. Yes, this is going to be in week 10, but friends, this is week 8, so you only have a couple weeks. Then we have a few things to look through very quickly, which we've pretty much talked about throughout your career as an ELA student. Something to complete if you so desire. You don't have to, but it's helpful. And then the only thing to actually submit. So if you want to look at it in a different way, we can go back to the home page, click on the masterclass schedule, and scroll down to week 8. Here it is. We have our CSET resources, thesis statements, writing and importance, and paraphrasing your argumentative research paper. Okay, so let's take a look at the CSET resources real quick. And you can see everything that you need to understand for CSET. The introduction, which we have already covered. You know, reviewing your topic sentences, reviewing some setup strategies, showing you how to either quote or paraphrase or summarize. The explanation, which I believe we've talked about. What to do and what not to do. And then there's the CSET challenge, which I might as well talk about right now. This is the one where you can go through and you just figure out, okay, well, what's the reason for your position? Oh, that's a claim. Explain how your evidence supports your claim. Okay, that's my tie-in. Introduce and give context for the quote. Oh, that's definitely a setup. And provide support. That's evidence. So instead of CSET, it's TKD. Whatever. Click submit, and oh, look at that. It's perfect. So if you can go through that, it's only going to take you maybe 5 minutes, because after this, it's going to ask you to actually figure out which parts of these fit into which parts of those. Of course, afterwards, then we're going to click on the thesis statements, writing and importance. Here it is. It's a general review of everything you've ever learned about thesis statements over the course of your English language education. If I were you, I'd focus on the divorce thesis statement, as well as the job market thesis statement, because this one here about the drug education, it's okay. It's not terrible. You know, we can work with it. The one over here that Shakespeare is just god-awful. It's just somebody who really wanted to appear smart and educated, but fell far short of the mark. Ignore it altogether. The rest of the page, again, is a review. You learned about your thesis statements in practically every stage of your education, so this is just something that get your brain remembering what you've learned and how to narrow this page down to a single idea. Well, I'd say that if we went right down here, that's great too. But your thesis statement must be supportable, and it must be specific. If you cannot support your ideas, they don't count. They are assertions, and they won't work well for your argument. If your thesis, like the drug education one above, is so all-encompassing that anything can fit in there, you're casting your net far too wide. Now, the next page of review is paraphrasing and your argumentative research paper. Clicking on that gets us here. And unfortunately, this page is really not very good. First, you've already seen the whys and wherefores of paraphrasing before. Next, this page really isn't about paraphrasing to begin with. It's just someone's ill-conceived rant about citing on paraphrasing. Just remember that if you use any outside source, whether you directly quote it, also known as copying and pasting it, or paraphrase it, also known as taking someone else's ideas and putting them into your own words that everyone understands it better, well, you must cite it. Now and forever. Don't ever forget that. It's not your material, it's just the way you're explaining it. So you must give credit to the original author. So what's the big takeaway from this page? Well, it's a type of citing that you must do. Officially, the American Psychological Association states that you must provide the author, year of publication or update, and the location of the information. That's what I call the page or paragraph number. for any direct quote. The APA also states that for any paraphrase, you must provide the author and year of publication or update, but the location of the information is optional, which means that you can choose to include it or not. They actually leave that up to your receiving institution and instructor. To be 100% honest with you, I prefer seeing the location of the information, again, that's the page or paragraph number, in every single citation, regardless of whether it's a direct quote or a paraphrase. Why? Well, in a direct quote, it's the rule. In a paraphrase, it shows me and your readers not only where the paraphrase begins, right after the year, but also where it ends. Your reader never has to guess if this part is your paraphrase or the next part of your paper. There's no muddy water here, folks. Now, some of my colleagues are dead set against this, and I'm still not sure why. I've spent far too much time thinking about that. You're literally adding as many characters to the paper as you would if you typed in a telephone number. That's it. To be honest with you, if you're adding that, you're actually adding more characters for a phone number. But, whatever. So this is called bookending. Oh, wait, where is that? It's, oh, right here. Bookending. We put our setup with our information, like Bob Samuels, 2018. There's our setup. Here's our quote and paraphrase, the evidence, and here's our location of the information, which is the citation. We are showing that everything in between these two sections is external information. Very important, isn't it? So, as you see this, it's wonderful and great and awesome. Now, however, if you are curious about the best way to paraphrase, I can tell you to avoid the thesaurus game and try the old put the end at the beginning and the beginning at the end game. What the hell am I talking about? Let's say that you have a piece of evidence that you want to put in your paper that reads, "The large green dinosaur ate the leafy treetops." You cite it correctly. Grant, 1993, paragraph 1. Okay, great. But if you want to paraphrase it, don't play the thesaurus game by just switching the words and keeping the exact same format. What do I mean? The huge, verdant, terrible lizards consume the vegetation atop the woody protrusions. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? It's so awkwardly stated. That's the thesaurus game. Just figuring out another way to say that word is not going to be a good paraphrase. Additionally, have you noticed that there's something else missing here? That's right. The citation is missing. That's a problem. So, what would be a better way for us to paraphrase this? Well, I like to kind of think of a metaphorical blender where you throw the entire thing in there, hit pulse a couple times, and then rearrange everything, not worrying about the original order, but now how it's going to work for you. How might it look? Well, let's bookend this bastard, okay? We've got our setup here. According to Dr. Grant, 1993, we've got our author, we've got our year. Fantastic. And then we know it comes from paragraph 1 because we're going to put that at the very end. Fantastic. So we've got that at the base. Now, everything in the middle is going to be our evidence, but we're going to mix it up. The large green dinosaur ate the leafy treetops, right? Treetops were the most common sustenance for the bigger dinosaurs due to the proximity of their mouths. I have taken the original idea from Dr. Grant. I have reordered the words to make it fit my paper a little bit better, but I have not changed the original idea. That's the key. I can still use words like treetops and dinosaurs. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. But if we use the same order, it's called patch writing, or the thesaurus game, like I call it, and it causes a huge problem for your reader to pay attention and follow through. By the way, you do not have to do this paraphrasing project at the end of the page, unless you really want to. I'm very happy to receive it, comment on it, and return it to you if you'd like to work on it. If not, then there's no skin off my nose, okay? Now after that, there's only one real assignment, a living template of how to create your upcoming research paper. So, clicking on this page, well, I did make a slight change. Originally, clicking on this template showed you this. I know, right? Ugly and useless as hell. I wasn't going to put you through that. So what did I do? You're welcome. Now, yes, this one is a little bit more involved, but it's easier to work through, and it shows you exactly what needs to go where, and it will allow you to understand how to start writing your paper. So, yeah, I'm a giver. It's what I do. So, I want you to just go through this and answer it completely and clearly as possible. I need you to realize that the more work you do now, the less you'll be stressing about later. If you complete the graphical organizer the right way, the overall writing of the paper will be painless for you. Trust me on this one. So going through, one of the biggest questions I get is what is the difference between the brief background information in the introduction and the background section altogether? No problem. The brief background section is literally what does my reader need to know immediately to understand the thesis statement. That's it. So this information here introduces the idea, so the thesis statement is a little bit more clear. When you get through that, they at least understand what you're talking about. So now this is how you explain the overall idea of your topic. We give a little bit of history. We give a little bit of politics. You know, you give some definitions. You give some science. Whatever you need to do. The background section is going to be very long and very complex if your topic is very long and very complex. If you're writing about CRISPR genome editing, okay, great. That's going to be a big background. If you're going to write about why homework should be banned, I think everybody kind of has an understanding of what homework is. So that might be a single paragraph, all right? And then your development, obviously, your argument point 1, your argument point 2, your argument point 3. Be detailed. Don't just put like 2 or 3 words in here, okay? If you have any additional points, the sample paper has 4, so you can add them right in here. Counter argument we haven't talked about yet, but do your best. What do you think the most common objections are to your points? What do you think you would say to rebut or go against that counter argument? That will help as well. And then your conclusion. Remember, an echoed thesis statement. Don't copy and paste it. Reword it. Paraphrase it. And then make sure to list out your references, put a reach beyond, a call to a reader. How are you going to connect your topic to their life, okay? That's the whole point. That's everything that you need to do. So once you get it done, submit it, and that's it for the week. So did that all make sense? It's a lot of material which hid behind all the other material. I want you to focus on getting that outline done, because if you do, you will find that your paper starts to click into place. Get it done right, folks. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me early in the week. If not, then I look forward to seeing your outlines next week. Best of luck, do great work, and see ya.